Premier League football is back. And just like that, your hopes, your prayers, your expectations are all crushed in game one. A collapse at the King Power, and Tottenham get off to an okay start. An okay start. Listen, I try really, really hard to always be a half. That's not easy to say, is it? A glass half full kind of guy. I try to look at all the positives. I try to think that we're going in the right direction and so on and so forth. But I have to say, that really hurts yesterday. It actually really hurts. I thought that bringing in the players that we brought in, some youth and so on, some real expected top talent, might be enough to start us going in the right direction. The plan is to use data to decide on players rather than just casting your eye over them and going, yeah, that's a big name, we'll bring them in. If they've not got the right personality and they've not got the right attitude, then they're never going to be a success for you. So we go down the route of data-driven purchases. And I do think it's the right thing. I do think it's the right thing. But you can play all this decent football, and we did play some decent football last night. There was a lot of good touches. There was a lot of good movement and so on and so forth. But if you're not converting them chances, then essentially you're just leaving yourself wide open, and that's what happened. And I've got to be honest with you, you could just feel it. For all the dominance we had, or is it 70 odd percent control of the game, more shots on target than you can throw a stick at, and all the rest of it. But ultimately, only one goal to show for it. And when it's 1-0, there's always a chance for the opposition to come back into the game. Now, out of all of the players on the pitch, the only one really that was ever going to be any real threat to Tottenham was going to be Jamie Vardy. And so leaving him alone at the back post to be able to have a clear, unchallenged header is just stupidity. Absolute stupidity. Romero, for all the good work that he does, for the class of a player that he is, to be ignoring him, Jamie Vardy in the box, it's a mistake that shouldn't be made. They should be aware of this sort of player, absolutely aware of it. And with Porro, scoring a goal, fair play, attacking and all the rest of it, and he's been a lot better in terms of his defensive duties. But again, he's looking straight at Vardy and kind of jogging towards him. That just is not good enough. That is not good enough. When a game is finely balanced like that, you've got to really be putting yourself right in there and getting on top of that stuff. So I came away, watched it with some friends in the club last night, and I came away fuming, to be honest, because this is the sort of game you've got to get 3 points from. This is a championship side that's just come up, and I said this in my preview with Dave the Irish Hotspur. Sometimes these teams coming up, they've got two things going for them, right? They've either got the momentum of them winning and coming up, or they've got that dogged resilience that everyone's against them. They've got nothing to lose, so they'll keep going and they'll keep fighting. And that's what it felt like in the end. They didn't have the momentum with them, but what they did have was that dogged determination to just keep going. And whilst it was 1-0, there was always a chance. They weathered the storm. And the longer the game went on and the more the crowd got behind them, the more you could feel the nervousness creeping into the team, the Tottenham team that is. And the more you could feel that this is gonna go that way. And you could see that Vardy it was obvious that if anyone, it was gonna be him. So I just really, really disappointed with it. Solanke coming in, I thought was good. I thought he's some good movement. He did some good stuff, but obviously needs to get that monkey off his back and score a goal. Because they're all going to be down. All the pundits are going to be going on about it and so on and so forth. There seems to be this obsession in the media with Tottenham players and what we do. So I can see that being a bit of an issue if he doesn't get that first goal very, very quickly. Had a couple of opportunities, but he's working on scraps. You know, for me, Son was poor yesterday. Kept cutting back, kept cutting inside. You know, wasn't using the overlap enough, not putting any crosses in. If you're not going to put crosses in, what's he going to get from it? And it was exactly the same on the other side from Johnson. There was just not enough coming into the box for him to work on. I mean, the guy can header. So, you know, you can put some higher balls in there. It's something that we've not really been doing before. So there was opportunities for him to get on that score sheet with better play, and we're just not getting it. You know, if you're using your wide men, your wingers to be the focal point of trying to get you a goal, then you've got to be getting more from them, and that just wasn't happening. Just wasn't happening. I know Johnson comes under a lot of stick because he's got pace, but again, wasn't really seeing him just lash past someone and whip a ball in, which is really, really what you want. Like I say, both sides equally as poor. I felt with Doggy didn't have a great game either. I felt there was some sloppy moments from him. Coming back from a long layoff, I get, so maybe he needs a bit of time. But yeah, you know, overall, it's really, really disappointing. These are the games that you really want to be taking 3 points out of. 3 points against Leicester, 3 points against Everton. You know, those are the ones you ought to be really looking at and thinking they're going to go our way. You know, because then you've got Newcastle, you've got Arsenal. They're not going to be betting on games where you should be expecting. So you're going to expect a bigger battle in those ones. Anyway, I thought I'd just do a quick update. I'll be back tonight recording with some guys on the Shooting the Shit podcast that we've just been doing. So hopefully you can watch that on YouTube tomorrow or on audio, Spotify and all those kind of things. We're putting it out on there. So go into a little bit more detail on that, but I just thought I'd share my views for you today and see what you think. And if you've got any comments and questions you want to ask, bang them in the section below, and we'll endeavour to get them into the Shooting the Shit chat a bit later tonight when we're recording. But thanks for watching this one. I appreciate it. Keep the faith. It's only game one. We move on. Up the Spurs.